everybody. Welcome back to the Raw Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. But before we get started, as usual, I do it every single time, and that's to invite everyone in who wants to be a part of the best community on these internet streets. I kid you not, we are the best. We're not bragging, we're just stating facts. And if you've been watching the podcast and hanging out over there in the comments and you see what a terrific community this is and you still hadn't subscribed, I am wondering why. I might have to give you a side eye. But listen, it's so easy. All you have to do is go down in your settings and look around and find that subscribe button and go ahead on to subscribe. And while you're in there, hit the notification bell too, so you know when I upload or when I just want to pop in, and give me a thumbs up to fight my nemesis, the beast, the algorithm. I am gaining ground, y'all. Y'all are doing a bang up job with the thumbs up. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, I want to give a big shout out and a big thank you to all of the readers who decide to support the channel by watching the commercials. I know it's not easy. It can get a little boring, but y'all do such a great job. And I appreciate it so much because it helps the channel. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, over there in the corner, that's our join button. That's for channel memberships. And if you choose to become a channel member and a part of the reading club, you will be supporting my channel to grow and improve and to continue. And I will be so grateful, so thankful, so over the moon appreciative to have that support. And if you just want to do a one-time donation, that is so easy. Look around down there, find that super thanks button and click it. And just know if you decide to donate, all donations to the channel is always, always greatly appreciated. All right, y'all, we do have some shout outs, some super thanks. And first up is my girl, Jennifer Clark. Jennifer has been with me just about since the beginning, and she is unwavering in her support. She rides hard for the read. She is always, always in the comments, and she's always there to greet me and give me a good word. Jennifer is so sweet and so kind and unwavering, like I said, with her support. She is the best. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Jennifer. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. And faithful, faithful, faithful Eulette. Yes, Eulette just keeps on coming. She does. She never wavers. She is always, always supporting. She's always in the comments. She is a ride or die. She is. And I am so thankful to have her. She is just, she makes me happy. Every time I go in the comments and Eulette is all over the place, she is the best. She is. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Eulette. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being a part of this community, girl. You make it so much better. You do. And 08065 came through. Yes, she did. That's my girl as well. She is so much fun and she is so faithful. She is unwavering in her support for the read. She rides hard for the read. She's always in the comments. She always have a good word. She is always thought-provoking. She's always in those comments dropping that knowledge. She is just special and I appreciate her so very much. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, 08065. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. And Annette Sweat. And Annette Sweat, she is one of the founding members of the Read. She is. She found me when nobody else knew I was the Read. She saw something in this channel and she has never, ever stop supporting. She has rode with me since the beginning and she continues to ride hard. She is so special and she's so kind and she's so wonderful and I'm so thankful to have her. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Annette. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for riding so hard for the read for so long. I mean, Annette is special. She is. And last but not least, Cool, cool, cool Cat Harlem. Yeah, she came through again today. Cat is just everything. She is so smart. If you see her comments, please read them because I promise you, you are going to learn something or she is going to make you think about something. She is just like that. Cat is just everything. And I am so happy and so grateful and so thankful she is a part of this community because she makes it better. She just do. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Kat. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for coming through and being here. It is everything. All right, y'all. I'm gonna play this and we'll talk on the other side. All right, y'all. I want to give another quick shout out to Jennifer Clark, to Eulette, to 08065, to Annette Sweat, and Cool Cat Harlem. Yes, y'all are the best. Y'all are. Y'all come through. I know you don't even have to, but you do it anyway. That's what makes you so special to me. Y'all support the read. Y'all ride hard for the read, and I appreciate it with everything in me. I really, really do. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here and being a part of this community and making it what it is. Yes. All right, y'all. With all that said, y'all know what time it is, and y'all know what I do when I am putting the read together. I hit these internet streets, and let me tell you, that's where I have been. And we have a lot to talk about now. We do. And most of it is Willie and Kitty. It is. They are out here punching air and fighting for their lives. They are throwing everything against the wall, trying to get something to stick because they know that monarchy over there is in its last throes. I'm telling you, people are talking about it out loud. I kid you not. When you got people on the Jeremy Vine show talking about how useless these people are, you're in trouble. But really, he was out and about today talking about men's mental health. You know, something that Harry has talked about, what, maybe 2, 3 years ago? But of course, they went back to their vision board to get something that Harry and Meghan had done. They always do that. I mean, it is not an original thought in that whole building over there, that whole palace over there. I have yet to see them come out with something original. But I digress. Yes, he was on the BBC One radio and he was talking about men's mental health. And let me tell you, they ate him up in the comments. They did. And that crisis manager, all I can say is this, what you putting out here is not going to work. That whole same old rodeo of trying to distract with Harry and Meghan, that is not going to work anymore. And it has been proven. The numbers are in. People are not falling for the okie doke anymore when it comes to that family over there and they're deflecting. This is serious. The JE files and that family's association with him is very, very serious. And people are just not liking any of it. It's all, makes them feel icky all over. And let's be for real, really is not the messenger that would be the most effective carrying this message because we have gotten all of the reports about how he handles his mental health, he is punching air. He's incandescent with rage. His wife is walking around with a scar on the side of her head, and nobody won't say anything about it. He has attacked Harry, but yet and still here he is talking about some kind of mental health. The only way he could be convincing as the messenger about mental health is that he would disclose that he is presently in therapy, that he is trying to do something with his anger and with his resentment. Yes, and his pettiness. I mean, this man has so many problems that a good therapist could help him with, but yet and still, we know he is always talking about other people and never talking about himself. And it is just report after report after report coming out that if anybody needs mental health services, it would be him. But I digress. We're going to talk about all of that. And like I said, we're going to talk about Kitty and her nonsense that is in this book, trying to rewrite history and trying to make herself look good when it comes to how she treated Megan. We're going to talk about that. And we have some other little tidbits, some interesting little tidbits that we're going to talk about as well. So y'all lock in. Listen, I'm not going to keep you long, but I promise you, you will be entertained. So I'm going to put this up. And this is a post from Emily Ferguson. And she reposted William and Kitty's post about him being over there to BBC One Radio. And of course, they are asking people to listen and on and on and on. And here's a picture of him up in there pretending like he cares with his fake arse. But I digress. This is what Emily said. She said, New, the Prince of Wales has taken part in a special episode of Radio 1's Life Hacks focused on mental health and male unaliving. The Prince wanted to take part in the conversation to further spotlight this important issue across the country, particularly among young people. Now, he wanted to take part in this. All I can say is I call hypocrisy because let's think back. It was a young woman who was related to him by marriage, his brother's wife, who was telling everyone that had two ears, one on either side of their head, that she was in distress. She was in trouble and she was having unaliving thoughts. But what did he do? He ignored it and poured more upon her, him, his mannequin wife, King Charles III, and his horse. They could have cared less. And now he wants us to believe that he cares about men's mental health. Stop it. Because it is giving the vibe, I don't know, 2 plus 2 equals 5. Yes, it's giving that kind of vibe to me. Now, I'm not saying that men's mental health is not important. It's extremely important. What I'm saying is he is not the right messenger. His history shows that no, he doesn't care about anybody's mental health. He doesn't even care about his own because we get the reports from the palace. Yes, we do. How people have to walk around on eggshells, that he is screaming and yelling and is out of control. Y'all remember not long ago, Jabo just absolutely outed him as a raging lunatic. Now, he didn't use those words, but he definitely described him as that. So, yes, until he takes his mental health seriously and the mental health of his mannequin wife, who is slowly disappearing in front of our eyes. She is presently looking like she weighs in the 2 digits. So until they get their house in order, I really think that they need to leave this topic alone because it just is not hitting the way it needs to hit when it's coming from this messenger. I'm just saying. And I'm going to put this up because this is another post from the BBC News UK. They wrote an article about William being on the BBC One's radio station. And so this is what they said. They said, William says it has taken long time to understand my emotions. Y'all know what's happening here. They're trying to remake his image. They know what people have heard about him. They know that people have heard the reports about his behavior and how he behaves in private, the ranting, the raving, and the incandescent with rage. So now this is what the new crisis manager is doing, remaking him, saying, yeah, that was the old William. Now he's more in control of his emotions. He understands them better. Yeah, okay, we're supposed to believe that. This is nothing more than more performative bullshit. And I'm going to say the word. I have to call it out for what it is because this is all it is. They want to try to remake his image. They know that it's accurate what people think about him because all the flying monkeys have come out and said it. Yes, they have planted stories about it. I mean, on and on and on. And we also have a first-hand account from Prince Harry that is backed up prior to Harry's book in the Band of Brothers from Robert Lacey. So, yeah, we know he is violent. We know he is quick tempered. We know he is surly. We know he is absolutely a rager. But now the new crisis manager has come in and they want to remake his image. And what is the first thing you do? Say, okay, I am more in control of my emotions now. I couldn't understand them. Now I understand them. How? How did you become so in touch with your emotion? You didn't say you was going to therapy or anything like that. We have nothing to go on except what you say. And we know that you're performative and prone to lie, especially Kensington Palace. They are the performance capital of the world. They're only second to Hollywood when it comes to made up fantasy. So stop it. But this is what this is. This is a crisis manager's work. This is her attempt to remake Willie's image. And this squatty posted an excerpt, I guess, from this article. I think that's where this comes from, and highlighted this. It says mental health is a cause close to the prince's heart. Yeah, right. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. You can't, because every initiative that they are the opposite of, those are the ones that they want to trumpet. Look at the horse. She is supposed to be such a big advocate for violence against women and children. And she has been more violent towards a woman and her children than anyone, to the point where she was ho-hopping and hopped on Diana's husband and used the children in order for her to get the big hat. And look at Eugenie. She is supposed to be a big campaigner for sex slavery and abuse. And look what she was participating in within her own family, her mother, her father. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. You can't. And here's Willie talking about he is such a campaigner for mental health. And this man is the one who needs mental health services more than anybody, and has caused more people to need it as well, because he has been a source of distress for so many, including his brother and his sister-in-law. So I can't with these people. I cannot. And look at Charles. He is a big campaigner for food banks. And this man spends millions on a dinner. I mean, it's crazy. These people are certifiable. And if you continue to support these people, you are just as certifiable as they are. I'm just saying. And the squatty that posted this said the same prince who mocked his brother for seeing a therapist and called his mom paranoid, please be serious. Exactly. Exactly. Right message, wrong messenger. And this squatty posted the front page from the scum when Kate was quoted as saying, talking therapies don't work for everyone. Yes, they contradict themselves. And the squatty that posted this said, but Kate said talking therapies don't work. And now this is what they're advocating because these people will change on a dime if they think it will benefit them. They are all about the performance. It makes me cackle just to think how they tried to put Megan down for being an actress. And that's all they do is act. I remember when Spare came out and we were able to learn what happened during the time of Harry and Meghan's wedding. Because when you're on the outside looking in, you really don't see what is going on. And I remember during that time when we didn't know what was going on, they were out and about and they asked Willie about Harry being engaged and what he thought. And he said, oh, we're just so happy. And I'll tell you what I'm happy about. I'm happy that he no longer will be in my fridge eating up all my food. Yeah, I just thought, okay, brotherly love, Harry's popping in, popping out over there all the time. This is normal. Well, when Spare comes out, I find out that Harry said he sit at his window watching the nanny go up and down the driveway, walking the baby, just hoping for an invitation to come over to Willie and Kitty's house for dinner. Harry just couldn't pop in there and go in their fridge. Harry could not go over there unless he was invited. And I was like, boy, he really got me on that one, Willie did. I mean, the lie just absolutely just slipped off the tongue like it was so natural for him. He had mastered the art of lying. And from that point on, I believe nothing that comes out of his mouth because this man will lie about anything. He is performative. He is a facade. He has nothing behind him. Everything that's in front of him, front facing, is what he wants you to see. What's behind him is the things that he wants to hide. And we keep getting more and more glimpses of what is behind the curtain when it comes to Willie. That right there told me he was not to be trusted. Anything that comes out of his mouth, he'll lie about it. Because that was an uncalled for lie. When someone lies when they are cornered or when someone lies when asked a question, it's different when someone just lies for no reason. Nobody didn't ask him for that. He volunteered that lie. And to me, that is the most treacherous kind of liar. Y'all tell me what y'all think, but that's my belief. One that lies for no reason. That now, all liars are horrible. But to me, the most treacherous and dangerous kind is the one that lies with no cause. I'm just saying. And I'm going to put this up. This is a couple of responses from squatties that came in BBC's comment section. And like I said, they lit him up in the comment section. The squatties have been doing God's work, I know, for the past week or so. Squatties have not been having none of it. When it comes to that family over there, they have been lighting them up in those comment sections, and I have enjoyed every bit of it. I have. I'm telling you, on these internet streets, I love when the squatties decide to take the low road and hop down there with them. All of the ugly old hags, the derangers, all of them, those flying monkeys, old Russell Myers. I love it. I love when squatties have time for it. I love it when squatties are saying, no, not today. We will jump down here and snatch your soul. We have time today. We have time tomorrow. We have time next week to deal with your arse. Yes, squatties are absolutely just doing what needs to be done and dealing with people the way they need to be dealt with. And it is delicious. And the first squatty said, and y'all drug Prince Harry for going to therapy, shaking my effing head. Hypocrites, all of yous. Exactly. Harry talked about therapy and the one you can't see. And then they went about systematically trying to make going and getting help, mental health services, somehow was bad. It showed weakness on Harry's part. And now here they are being hypocrites because they see people are accepting of what Harry did. Because Harry did what needed to be done. Harry knew that in order for him to have a successful life, he needed to seek out help. But Willie, everything is given to him. Everything is revolving around him. And so he does not seek help because he doesn't think he needs it. He thinks everybody else does. And that right there is the problem. But yes, they planted story after story after story against Harry about seeking help, about getting therapy. They are hypocrites. And this other squatty just went in on Willie, yes, in the BBC and said, must be talking about his uncontrollable incandescent rage. I mean, look what Prince William allegedly did to his wife. Yes, they posted that on the BBC website. That's why I said I am shocked that they did not close the comments because they should have knew that this was exactly what they were going to get. They know we know, but they want to try to pretend like everything is all good and it's nothing to see here and their house is burning down. I'm just saying. And this squatty said, is that why he uses his fists and cushions and points his finger in people's faces? Is he in therapy now? If he's in therapy, they need to quadruple them sessions because according to his mouthpiece, he is still a raging man. Only yesterday, his favorite cheerleading newspaper referred to him as Ruthless Wheels. And as you can see, I'm going to put this up. This is what this particular squatty is talking about. And it was an article by Liz Jones and trying to perpetrate this new narrative that somehow Beatrice and Eugenie chose Harry and Meghan, which is laughable because let's not get it twisted. Beatrice and Eugenie has been at every family function, everything that Willie and Kitty has done, including the Christmas Carol concert. And this last one, Eugenie wrote a letter saying that she apologized for not attending. So you trying to tell me now you want to pretend like they chose Harry and Meghan because of the stain of J.E.? I can't with these people. I cannot. They act as if the internet is not forever. We have receipts. It has been articles written about this, how Beatrice and Eugenie chose Will and Kate and chose the firm. So stop it. Stop it right now. But yeah, she did call him Ruthless Will and Kate. And I could not agree more. They are ruthless. And I'm going to put this up. This is a little off track, but I wanted to address what this squatter was saying about Beatrice and Eugenie and how this new narrative is emerging that somehow Beatrice and Eugenie chose Harry and Meghan. And as you can see in this post, this squatty posted all of the different articles that they have written saying just the opposite. And all of a sudden, only now that Beatrice and Eugenie is being found out and new stuff is coming out every day, that they had a lot more awareness about what was going on with their parents and JE. Now they want to try to smear Harry and Meghan with them. And in actuality, Beatrice and Eugenie had chosen their side. They were firmly in alliance with that family. And for an example, look at the article that this squatty has posted. And as you can see, it says Princess Eugenie and Princess Beatrice are cutting Prince Harry and Meghan Markle off. And as you can see, here's evidence that Beatrice and Eugenie chose the firm and not Harry and Meghan. They were out here flogging the idea that they had cut them off. They were isolated. Nobody wanted to be around them. And now, since Beatrice and Eugenie are tainted with the stench of JE, all of a sudden, this new narrative emerges, and they really chose Harry and Meghan instead of the firm. Stop it. We got too much evidence to show you're lying. And the squatty that posted this said, the same people trying to convince you that Prince Andrew's daughters, Princess Eugenie and Princess Beatrice, are not close to the ruthless Kate and William are racist, are the same people who told you Prince Andrew's daughters had picked the racist roles. Exactly. The same people who said, months ago that they actually had chosen the roles now wants you to believe that they actually chose Harry and Meghan. They need to stop it. They really need to stop it because the internet is forever and squatties will never hesitate in pulling the receipts. I'm just saying. And I'm going to put this up because I just found this so interesting because it was something that I had forgotten about. Y'all remember when Kitty, not long after she reappeared, she posted some pictures that the kids had drawn. And I think this one that this squatty posted is Lewis's. And can you see now, looking at it with fresh eyes and knowing everything that possibly went on with Kitty, and with that scar on the side of her head, look at this picture. It's all in red, and look at what he has put on her face. Wonder why he did that. Is these breadcrumbs? Are these breadcrumbs? Am I reading too much into this? But I just found this so interesting. And as you can see, the squatty put the picture of her with the scar on the side of her head. But Lewis did it all in red and then made something, a scribbling on her face. Very interesting now. Y'all tell me what y'all think, but yeah, I'm thinking maybe breadcrumbs here. I hope I'm not overthinking this, but I had forgot about this. Y'all tell me what y'all think. But the squatter that posted this said, no one gives a shit about the unhinged devil who lacks emotional intelligence. William should be concerned about his son's very disturbing drawing of his mother after she went missing for 8 months. Y'all, we maybe got a breadcrumb and we overlooked it. Like I said, y'all tell me what y'all think, but I find it fascinating and very odd that he drew this as he did. And this squatty said Prince William is therefore talking about his own mental health instead of the victims abused by his uncle. his associates, and JE, who is advising him. Well, I don't know who is advising him, but LBC Shayla Fogarty, she told him a new one about it. She did. It says, we're looking at women so shattered by abuse that they are either already unalived or struggling daily. Where is the lie? And he's over there talking about his own mental health, lying about his own mental health, because I know he's lying because his mouth is moving. And it went on to say, Shayla Fogarty is flabbergasted by Prince William's discussion on men's mental health when the royals still have questions to be answered about Andrew. Exactly. They want to try to pretend like everything is normal. That is what they're being advised to do by this so called crisis manager. But I hate to tell them this is not going to die down. That's their hope that it will pass, but it's not going to pass because it's too many hurt people for it to pass. And it's too many people who is tainted by the stench of JE. And that family is smelling. I smell them all the way from across the pond. And of course, this was not an original idea because we know that original ideas are not something that is created over there at Kensington Palace. As you can see, Harry has done this. It says Prince Harry, Men and Men Health, October 2025. Some lazy royals spend all of their time on Sussex's sites to copy each and every word. Exactly. Exactly. So this is where it's coming from. We know a man who will dig up a woman he had talked to 8 years ago in order to try to muster up some tears like his brother did, several months before in Ukraine. You think he wouldn't do this? It's nothing William will not do to copy Harry, to outdo Harry, and to elevate himself. And this squatty said, now he's talking mental health. He will always be in Harry's shadow. Where is the lie? Where is it? All he does is trail behind what Harry has already done and try to colonize it for himself. And it's pathetic at this point because he keeps getting called out. Look at this one, y'all. This was in the Times and the Sunday Times. And it says the Prince of Wales told a panel on unaliving prevention how he struggled during his tenure with the air ambulance. He encouraged men to ask for support. Now he know he never showed up for that job. It has been reported widely that he never even took that job seriously. He did not pull his weight. He did not show up most of the time. It was a front. It was. But here he is milking it for all it's worth. And of course, because of that, squatties have to show up with the receipts. They do. And this particular squatty showed up with the receipts. And as you can see, they highlighted the part that says some of the 11 pilot colleagues were reported to have complained that he spent more time off than at work. Yes, that is the stress that he's talking about, how he struggled with his tenure. Well, I don't see how you can struggle so much when you at home. I'm just saying, this squatty that posted this said, hashtag Prince William, with the help of the press, really has the subject of fools. William co-pilots at East Angle Air Ambulance repeatedly complained that he did not carry his weight, yet lazy William continues to defraud the British people, a distraction from hashtag JE. Exactly. He never showed up. They complained that he never showed up, and here he is. I bet the people who work with him, every time he says something like that, they roll their eyes. They do. It was like, I bet they just absolutely roll their eyes and curse under their breath. I bet they say this. You know they do. I know I would. And I'm gonna put this up. This popped up in the mirror. I think it was yesterday, and it says Prince William interrupts half-term break to make major announcement. You know what the major announcement is? This right here, Town and Country posted about it, and it says Prince William's Earth Block Prize is headed to Mumbai this year. Yes, they're having Earth Block in spite of the JE tank. Yes, they are. And it's going to be in Mumbai. And of course, squatties jumped right into the comment sections and reminded them that Earthflop has a distinct stench from JE and this Sultan. And as you can see, they posted the article from the Daily Fail that said Sultan's shame Williams Earthflop Prize reported to Charity Commission after finding partner appeared in JE torture email. Yes, the stench. The stench is there. Earthflop is stinking. And this squatty that posted it said, wonder if the Sultan is coming too. It's his gig too. Yes, I wonder if the Sultan is coming too. We all know that that's not a possibility because when you're found out, they drop you like a hot coal. They are done with the Sultan. But maybe the Sultan might not be done with Willie. We got to see what is in these other 3 million pages from the JE files. And this squatty posted this receipt, and as you can see, DP World is still listed in Earthflop's founding partners list. Yes, there it is, highlighted. Woo, the taint, it stinks. And this squatty that posted this said, well, look at that. DPW is still listed as a founding partner and funding partner. The heir needs to do the right thing and return that £1 million. It's surprising that his crisis manager hasn't done anything about this. Yes, the crisis manager is out here trying to resell us on Willie, remaking his image, but still has the stench of JE all over him. I cannot. She doesn't seem like she knows what she's doing. I'm just saying. And here's something else coming from that crisis manager and Russell Myers, because this is an exclusive from this cockamamie book, because squatties are just tearing it to pieces, tearing it up with these receipts. And so this is from People. It's the title of the article is Why Kate Middleton and Prince William's Love Story Almost Didn't Happen and How Queen Elizabeth Stepped In. Well, squatties pulled receipts and showed that this was a lie. This absolutely was a lie. Now, I'll put this up. This is a repost, and the original post from the squatty said this, telling him to have faith in his relationship. You mean with a woman who Elizabeth hadn't even met back then. William and Kate split in 2007, and Elizabeth first met Middleton in 2008. What a clown you are. Yes, People magazine printing what Russell Myers has put into a book is absolutely scandalous. This is the reason why I never give people any credit, even when they do right in situations, because they come back and do wrong. They are absolutely useless. They are just useless. And Megan, the Duchess of Advocacy, one of my favorite squatties and podcasters here on YouTube, said this: Squatties straight up clowning Russell Myers. Exactly. He has so much nonsense in that book. And for people not to challenge it or call it out like people has chose not to do, I mean, just presenting it as is, just the way Russell Myers presented it to them, is disgraceful. It really is. That is the reason why I still and forever will side eye People magazine. This particular squatty is posting about that whole, trying to make William and Kate's romance to be so much. This squatty said, in that lame book, Russell Myers confirmed what we already knew, that William was dragged kicking and screaming to the altar to marry Kate. After repeatedly dumping and humiliating her, William finally married her when no one else would have him. Y'all know squatties have been saying that forever. He wanted to marry someone else, but he absolutely had to settle for Kate. And you can tell it was a settle. And the squatty that posted this said, which begs the question, why did neither of the two women he really wanted marry him, Jessa Craig or Isabella Calthorpe, take a pass on marrying Prince William? With the exception of the blonde, the heir really does have a type. But yes, why did these two socialites, aristocratic women, decided to pass on the future king of the United Kingdom? Well, we all know. We all know. The same reason Kate got that scar upside her head. That's why they passed, in my opinion. Y'all tell me what y'all think. And I'm going to put this up, and it is about Kitty and how she appears in this book. Like I said, this whole book is a coordinated effort to rewrite history and to reset their personas, to give Willie and Kitty a new makeover. You know, just saying that they're not the people you think they are. They're really these people, more like Harry and Meghan. Yes, the continuation of Willie and Kitty taking on more and more of Harry and Meghan's persona. So I'm going to put this up. And this particular squatty is talking about how in this book, Russell Myers is saying that Kitty felt let down by Meghan because Meghan corrected the whole narrative that somehow she made Kate cry. And so she felt that she was let down by that because she made her look bad. And so this particular squatty posted the whole front page of Meghan Made Kate Cry, and this squatty that says only one person benefited from Meghan Made Kate Cry lie, and that's Kate. That lie engendered tremendous hate towards Meghan Markle, and she never recovered from it. Kate let that lie persist without a care for the harm it was causing Meghan. The same hashtag Kate Middleton were supposed to leave alone. Exactly. She wanted to be the beneficiary of that lie. The lie was created to benefit her. Let's not even get that part twisted, because we know why that lie existed. We know why that lie was fed to Camilla Tomney. It was to tear down Meghan's character. Meghan was just flying too high. They absolutely could not stand the fact that Meghan had more personality in her pinky toe than Kate had in her entire body. And so they systematically decided to tear her down, and Harry with her. And then this squatty reposted this and said, hashtag Kate Middleton's level of entitlement to say that she felt deeply let down when Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, exposed her lie to Oprah is insane. The lie engendered an avalanche of hate and even death threats towards Meghan. It was the catalyst for the abuse. Hashtag Meghan has suffered for 8+ years. Where is the lie? This is the lie that launched a avalanche of lies coming out of Kensington Palace to absolutely tear Meghan down and create hate towards her. And so this heifer has the nerve to come out and say that she was let down because Meghan corrected it on the Oprah Winfrey interview. Get out of here. Get out of here. These people are mad because Harry and Meghan set the record straight, said what happened to them, said what was lies and what was falsehoods and what was true, called the balls and strikes. And yet it's still, they took that as a betrayal. If you really, really wanted the record to be set straight and you were a innocent bystander in all this, why are you so mad? Why are you so pressed about it being corrected? It doesn't make any sense. It clearly shows guilt. Y'all tell me what y'all think, but this heifer, this heifer right here, I'm telling you, she best be glad she got Meghan instead of getting someone from the dirty, dirty South or the Midwest or somewhere over on the East Coast. Yes, if she had got somebody like that, if Harry had married a woman from one of those regions in the United States, Kate would be picking that face of hers off the floor. And it wouldn't be because it was sagging either. I'm just saying. And this particular squatty reposted another squatty that posted the text messages that Harry had in spare between Meghan and Kitty about the flower girl dresses. Yes, squatties are dragging that up. They say if Russell Myers want to play that game of dragging stuff up, yes, we'll drag all of it up. And this squatty is reposting a squatty that posted those texts between Meghan and Kate about the flower girl dresses. Yes. And the squatty that posted them said this: Kate Middleton's behavior came off quite toxic and microaggressive. Text exchange on flower girl dresses leading up to Harry and Meghan's wedding. Yes, she wanted Meghan to remake all of the flower girl dresses because she said that Charlotte's dress was too baggy. And Charlotte was upset about it. So, because of that, I think at the time Charlotte maybe was about 4 years old. So, because of a 4-year-old was upset about her dress, Kitty Cat wanted Meghan, whose wedding it was, to remake all of the flower girl dresses to make Charlotte happy, which was a 4-year-old. Tell me this squatty is not on point when she said it was quite toxic and microaggressive. It absolutely was. And the squatty that reposted her said this biatch tried to tell Meghan to remake all of the flower girl dresses because Charlotte's wasn't fitting and she didn't want it to be altered. Who in the F is this biatch? Meghan is better than me. I would have said take Charlotte to get a fitting or she's out, period. F that. Well, pretty much that's what Meghan said without the F that part. Because Meghan said that she told her that she had a tailor on site. On site. She didn't have to go off site. The tailor was on site available to do all the alterations. What was the problem? I'll tell you what the problem was. The problem was she was trying to create chaos and difficulties for Megan. This was her intent from the beginning. She knew that it wouldn't have been a problem with the alterations for Charlotte's dress. She's a 4-year old. What she wanted was to make it as hard and difficult as she could for Megan because she was not the center of attention. It wasn't about her. It was about Harry and Meghan's wedding, and she could not handle that. So she wanted to make Meghan's life miserable, and she did until she made Meghan cry. And then she thought about, well, that's not a good look. And then she apologized and sent flowers or brought, I can't remember if she sent flowers or if she brought the flowers. At this point, who cares? But yes, she was trying to create chaos. She was trying to make things miserable for Megan. And you cannot convince me any different. This was a coordinated effort between her and William to try to do everything that they could to make Harry and Meghan's wedding crash and burn. And I want to put this up. I found this absolutely fascinating. This is coming from R.S. Locke, the royal suitor. And this is what she posted back in 2019. And it's about Harry and Meghan and Willie and Kitty. And they're thinking why this whole smear campaign was kicked off because of their jealousy and what they did in getting in bed with the tabloids. This is what R.S. Locke said back in 2019. It says, people are telling William, don't worry, your influence will grow and Harry's will fade. A source said, this is peak Harry. After a year in which Harry and Meghan has hardly been off the front pages, it would be natural for William and Kate to feel somewhat overshadowed. Now, there's something I don't get. What is this whole overshadowed thing? And why is it such a big deal? You're going to be the king and queen of the United Kingdom. I mean, what does it matter? It's not going to change your status in any form or fashion. Why are you so pressed? I never could understand why they are always so pressed about these front pages of these rags. Are they conditioned this way to believe that this is some kind of requirement as a monarch to be front and center all the time? I might be absolutely being very naive, and I am an American, so maybe I don't know the culture of it all. And all my British squatties, y'all let me know. The readers, y'all let me know. Am I off base with this? But I just don't get it. And then R.S. Locke posted this one and said, this sense of embezzlement has been entrenched by William's decision to reach out to senior figures in the media and by the apparent decision of those same newspapers to side with the palace over Harry and Meghan by peddling the most negative coverage of the Duchess's relationship with her father. And we also know that Thomas Markle was right there on board with all of this. I mean, he had just absolutely turned against his own flesh and blood. That's why I understand why Megan can never forgive him. They had the nerve talking about she hadn't contacted him since his foot been cut off. No contact means no contact. What is wrong with these people? But I digress. And then R.S. Lott went on and said to palace officials wondering how to handle the couple, there was another figure who loomed large when you think of young women using royal platforms for global charitable crusading. Harry's own mother. The danger to them is that Meghan is going to be bigger than Diana. Now, y'all, who thought about that. And of course, that could never be true because Diana is like a martyr. She obtained her icon status. Diana being killed has a lot to do with her iconic status. I'll just put it that way. So Megan could never reach that status because Megan is here with us in the living. I just don't understand. These people are fearful about everything, aren't they? I mean, they are the most insecure bunch I have ever came to know. And then the squatty that posted this said they felt overshadowed by Harry and Meghan's star power. The smear campaign against Meghan at the behest of William and tacit approval of the royal family, even though Meghan's expressed unaliving, ideations in the UK highlights their complete lack of compassion. It really shows their true evil nature. Where is the lie? Where is it? I mean, if you didn't know that this family was evil, once we read Spare and saw how they behaved when they found out Meghan was having unaliving ideations, and they did nothing except try to put more pressure upon her, plant more stories, plant more lies. I mean, just ratcheting it up even more. And Megan was pregnant at the time. Now, if that's not true evil, I don't know true evil even exists. I'm just saying. And this squatty said the briefing of the royal family is no longer working because the public now knows that the palace is using Harry and Meghan to divert attention, and this strategy is becoming increasingly obvious. People are no longer fooled and are finally seeing the mechanisms behind these maneuvers. Where is the lie? And I love it. I love it so much. They play the same play over and over and over again. They use the same playbook. And now it has finally played out. And I'm going to put this up. This is a repost, and the original post says every single article about Meghan being sanctioned by the royal family is getting ratioed. This isn't 2018 anymore. You will not use Meghan and Prince Harry to distract from the royal family and the pedos they are harboring. Where is the lie? Where is it? And then this other squatty, which is one of my favorite squatties, came in, reposted that, and said, some big name outlets with hundreds of thousands and even millions of followers are getting less than 1,000 likes on Meghan Markle's hit pieces. Some doesn't even break the hundreds. Change is here. Yes, yes, yes. Squatties are on their job, doing their job, and we are starting to see the results. And I'm telling you, all I can say to that is hallelujah. Yes, hallelujah. And in closing, I want to put this up. And this is from Megan, the Duchess of Advocacy. Like I said earlier, she is one of my favorite squatties and one of my favorite podcasters. And she decided to repost another squatty. And this squatty that she reposted said, Russell, you are a paid propagandist writer for the royals and also complicit in all their wrongdoing over the years. Instead of holding them account, you cover for them and allow their corruption, crimes, and poor behavior to continue. You are as guilty as them. And Megan, the Duchess of Advocacy, came in and said, see what I mean? Squatties are lighting Russell's arse up. Yes, 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 yes. Squatties are on their jobs. I am loving it, y'all. A good time to be a squatty. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all a little later. Bye.